Nancy. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, pretty good.
Saw you in the Quake, directing it. So was it easier to bring in the burning sea?
I wouldn't say easier. It was still quite a bit of a challenge. I mean, Burning Sea was shot in the middle of this pandemic that we're sort of hopefully seeing the end of now. So really shooting during a pandemic was difficult, but of course also getting access to all these oil rigs and the ships and the helicopters. Like we wanted to shoot this film on real locations, on real ships, real helicopters, not blue screen. It's like helicopters actually flying. We're actually on an oil rig, so getting to do that was a bit of an undertaking. To the whole crew, getting a film crew on board an oil rig with all the safety courses and all that stuff. That was slightly difficult, but I think that also in the end that paid off because you get a realism and it's easier for the actors to react to real environments than standing in front of a green screen. So.
What was your experience in reading the script in that moment where you're like, I got this, I'm totally in?
Well, I mean, I was sort of part of the development process of the script because I worked with these screenwriters before. Both of them on different films. I used to be a cinematographer for 20 years, so I also shot some films that one of these writers has written before. So I sort of had a long-standing relationship with them, and we in a way we sort of stepped into this area together. We found that we wanted to do a film in the North Sea. We did a bit of the research together. So I'm just very happy that I have two guys that I've done this film with, and that I just had a very nice relationship with these two writers. I think they're just amazing, both of them.
Oh, so did you have a chance to kind of give your opinion during the writing of the script?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like with me and the two writers and the producer, we really met regularly and had discussions, and then they go away, right? And then maybe one of us will read an article somewhere and we'll send it, and then we say, oh, what if we take it in this direction, or what if we do a little bit like this? So it's a process that where we really developed this thing together.
So what was your experience on finding the right Sofia for this role?
Oh yeah, that was of course a big thing. I mean, we knew that we wanted to have a female action hero. I mean, if we can call this an action hero. Action hero maybe sounds like some kind of superhuman. I really wanted her to be a regular person, flesh and blood, that would react in a way that you and me can both understand. But then I think one of the things quite early, I saw this documentary about Alien, of course, because when you talk about female action heroes, many people think about Sigourney Weaver and her role in Alien, and I think the front page of an early draft of Alien, it says all roles in this film are written non-gender, so not written as female or male roles, and I think that was kind of a good angle of attack for this role, to just think about it as a person, not think that how would a woman react or how would a man react, just really how finding the perfect cast for it, and then how would she react. And then when we found Christine, she is sort of this amazing natural talent. I think she's like, I call her a lie detector, because if something feels untrue, she just can't do it. Then she can't really act of something that doesn't feel true to her. So in that sense, I think she was perfect for this film, because you're in environments where she can react off the environment, and I think she comes across as a full person, as a real person.
Which one of the scenes was the most challenging to film?
Well, probably the end scene, the one where they're in this lifeboat, without spoiling too much. But when they're trying to escape the oil rig, that was definitely challenging, because we have our characters trying to escape in one of these dropping lifeboats that is filled with water, and we shot it in Norway during the winter, and there was just no way we could get that water warm, so the actors had to be in this water that was super cold, really freezing cold. So and also that whole sequence was technically difficult in terms of effects and everything. So I think that's probably the most challenging one. Yeah.
Christine said the same thing.
Oh, she did. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
So she said it took like 2-3 days to film. And what was the reason for that? Was it because it was like a tight space of so much going on, water? What was it?
Yeah, I mean, and in my mind, 2 or 3 days for a big scene like that is not a lot, because I think if it was a Hollywood film, it would probably take a month to film it. But it was very tight space, and it was we had to do. I mean, just the technicalities of it. You know, having a boat that is, instead of there's a boat floating on the water, it's a boat that is filled with water. That takes a lot of the boat needs to take a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of safety concerns that you have to take into consideration. So you can only shoot for, you know, a certain amount of time before you have to take people out. So it was a difficult thing, but I thought it was very important for the film to sort of end in that way. So we spent quite a bit of our resources on that particular scene.
One of my favorite characters was Arthur. Whose idea was it for Arthur's character to conclude where it concluded, without saying too much?
Yeah, it was an idea that was sort of slowly developed, because in some early drafts there was someone else who sort of did that sacrifice that he's doing, and then but in the end we just figured out that his character, and the way we had gotten to know his character through the film, that this would be sort of the perfect action for him to do. So it's I mean, it's a film that it doesn't really have a lot of roles, or a sort of a large gallery of characters. So I thought it was important also that it was Arthur was a character that we got to spend time with and got to know, and so we care for him. That was also very important.
And real quick, what are your thoughts on climate change and the way we are pretty much exploiting our planet at the moment, based on the storyline of the movie?
I mean, the movies came about at the same time that there was an election in Norway, and there was a lot of political discussion about oil drilling, because Norway is a country that has gotten a lot of its wealth from oil drilling in the North Sea. So we certainly had political parties in Norway now starting to demand we need to have a date. When are we going to stop drilling for oil? We know we have to stop. We can't keep doing this. Should we just leave the oil? Would it be better if some other country drills for the oil? It was all these sort of ongoing discussions. So, of course, a film like this doesn't really want to be like a big political statement, but we definitely wanted to have this underlying theme and maybe raise some awareness to what would happen if you do push nature too far. You know, how will nature strike back? So, so I think it definitely, you know, you could say that it could have been about global warming, but global warming would maybe be a little bit too slow happening for an action film like this. So in that sense, you know, we have sort of this crack in the ocean floor instead, and but the effect is the same, and the message is the same. It's like, what happens if you push nature too hard? So I think there's a big paradox in Norway, because we sort of the oil industry is such a big part of the wealth for the country, but at the same time we are like, we try to be environmental cautious, and you know, we're the country in the world with the highest degree of highest share of electrical cars and stuff like this. So it's sort of this paradox in Norway, which I thought was also interesting to bring on to this film.
Well, thank you so much, John, for your time. I enjoyed the movie, and I loved Sofia's character. She was a badass. I was telling Christine about it.
Cool. Very good to hear.